working with the yin postures, and our prop will be the wall. So most of the postures will be up the wall, working with the wall to support us. Each posture will be held for about 4 minutes. If you wish to come out of that posture a little bit earlier, please do so and just place the legs straight up the wall until we work towards the next posture. I'm going to get you up the wall straight away. You'll have possibly 2 cushions handy. You may want the cushions. To get up the wall, we're going to have our buttocks quite tight to the wall. So first of all, you're going to bring the side of the body to the wall. Hands behind you, and then you're just simply going to walk your hands behind you as you slide your legs up the wall. Settle yourself into a comfortable position. Maybe have the cushion underneath your head. It's entirely up to you. The legs are nice and long. I'm going to scoot those buttocks as tight to the wall as possible. So this obviously is working into the hamstrings straight away. It's very gentle, nothing too intense. You may be a little bit further away from the wall, and that's absolutely fine. Your body will determine where it wants to be. So each posture is held for 4 minutes. The timer is on. The posture is butterfly up the wall. So you're going to bring the feet to the wall, open the knees, and bring the soles of your feet together. And then draw the heels down close to the groin as far as it feels appropriate to you. Now, if you want to add a little bit more intensity, then just place your arms back of the forearms onto the knees, and we settle here. So we're going to be working with mindfulness. So start to be aware now of what the sensations you are feeling right now at this moment in time. Being really mindful of what's happening in the body. Where are you feeling these sensations? You want to be in a position where you're a little tiny bit out of your comfort zone, so you can feel something's happening, but you're not in any pain whatsoever. So you're just aware now of something happening. And we settle into total stillness now. We try not to move. We allow ourselves to just yield to this posture, accepting what's happening in the body and accepting what's happening in the mind. The breath is calm. The body is still. We're fully aware. And then time is another magic ingredient of your yin practice. So each posture can be a mini meditation, focusing on the sensations or the breath. If you find yourself drifting away from the yoga mat in your mind, then bring yourself back. Being in the moment. We're going to think about coming out of this posture now, so bring the hands to the outside of the knees and slowly we draw the knees back together and slowly we take the legs back up the wall. Scoot back to the wall, settle into legs up the wall, and then we're coming into our next posture, which is called the wall squat. So bring your feet flat to the wall. And then we're going to walk the right foot out and walk the left foot out. And the further you walk the feet away from each other, the more intense the posture will be. So take it to your own edge. You can have your arms down by the side of your bodies. You can take the arms up over the head if you want to. It's 4 minutes, the timer is on. Or you can even just cross your arms and settle here. So wherever feels appropriate to you, arms over, arms out. Wherever you can be where you're going to settle into this posture. So the whole practice is working with the hips, the hamstrings, and being mindful. So being mindful is just being in the moment. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. But just settle into this mindful practice, into stillness, hip opening, being aware of your breath, your thoughts, and your sensations. Complete stillness, concentration, focus, mindfulness. You have 1 more minute in this posture. We're slowly going to be coming out of the posture. Take it easy. Have your hands at the back of the knees and slowly walk the legs together. I'm guessing you may be feeling this. And then legs straight up the wall. Nice, easy breathing. And we're already in our next posture. So if you've come away from the wall, scoot back to the wall so the buttocks are quite close to the wall. Don't worry if they're not close to the wall. The more we practice our yin up the wall, the closer they all get to the wall. You can also bend the knees if the hamstrings are objecting to this posture. It's 4 minutes. For these 4 minutes, your arms can be up behind you, settled here, or they can be down by the side of your body, settling here, or they can rest on your tummy and settling here. Close your eyes, and this will be a quiet 4 minutes for you to really connect with what's happening now in the body. It's a very restorative posture, so just relax into it and enjoy. Continue to be mindful. If you're drifting away with thoughts, bring yourself back to the yoga mat, to the sensations, to the breath. One more minute. So mindfulness is what brings us back in touch with what's happening right now in the present moment. We are fully in the moment, not in the past, not in the future, fully in the moment. Mindfulness. Going to very slowly come out of this posture. So bend the knees. And then take the legs up the wall. Feel free to have a little move around if you want to, anything organic. I'm going to take the legs up the wall. And then open the legs super wide. Now, if you haven't got a wall that's enabling you to do this, then just sit with your back against the wall and open the legs wide in front of you. And then we have again stillness, 4 minutes. Let the legs be as wide as they want to be. We're into the inner thigh area, the adductors. Feel free to place your hands on the inner thigh. Feel free to massage that inner thigh if you want to. Just being aware now of the sensations that are being created. Now you will have some sensations in the inner knee. So be aware that we are stressing the inner knee somewhat, and if it's too painful, then you'll need to bring your feet a little bit closer together to avoid any knee issues. So just go at your own pace, find your own sensations, and then again, arms can be out by the side, they can be up and interlock, they can be on your tummies, they can be on your inner thighs, whichever feels appropriate to you. And then we just settle into this posture, fully aware of being mindful. Sometimes stillness is the hardest thing, and yet sometimes when we're being still, we're doing the most work. We're often bombarded by stimuli from media, and this stillness and this peace and this being in the moment turns into a spiritual practice. You can really be aware of being alive, being in the moment, and how still we can be, mind, body. The breath, soft and seamless. When the breath is calm, the mind is calm. Your final minute. We're slowly going to move out of this posture, so bring the hands to the outside of the knees. Take it slowly now, one leg at a time, drawing it back in again. And then the other leg draws in. And again, I'm guessing you're feeling that, so just have a wiggle around. Do whatever feels appropriate. Legs up the wall again. Your next posture is going to be quite deep into the hips and into the hamstrings simultaneously. It may be that you're going to have to hold on to the sides of your yoga mat and scoot your butts away from the wall. Just a couple of inches. Further away from the wall, the more accessible this posture. So we want to keep that pelvis on the mat. So first of all, we'll keep the left leg up the wall and we'll take the right ankle and cross it over the top of the left knee. We'll flex the foot to make sure that this knee is nicely protected. It's going to be 3 minutes each side. The timer is on. Option 1, you're staying right where you are. You're going to go a little bit deeper if you want to. Option 2, you're just going to bring the foot that's on the wall flat to the wall, and you're going to feel this now in the hips and somewhat in the hamstrings. And we'll keep this foot flexed, which means you point the toes to the ceiling, just to keep a bit more protection in that knee joint. Options, if you want to, you're going to slide that foot on the wall down the wall so its heel is parallel with the knee. Your lower back and your pelvis is on the mat. If it starts to rise, then perhaps push yourself a little bit further away from the wall. If you want to make it a little bit more intense, you can cross your arms in front of you, place them onto the inner thigh area, and just guide that right knee a little bit more towards the wall. It just gives that little bit more intensity if you want it. If you don't, you can just stay where you are with your hands either above or down by the side of the body. So whichever feels appropriate to you. And I think really now in this particular posture you can really be mindful, because you can really start to feel what's happening here with this hip opening. You're just approaching your last minute in this posture. So when we're in our yin postures, we're working with connective tissue, fascia. It's like a web that surrounds all your muscles and joints. And by staying in these long holds, we're opening up that connective tissue, that fascia, to give you more range of movement. A couple more breaths now before we exit this posture. And then slowly we'll pick up that foot, take it off the knee, slide the legs up the wall and have legs up the wall. Scoot a little bit closer to the wall if you've come away. We're going to do exactly the same on the opposite side. So the left foot comes across and we either stay here. Remember, we want to keep this pelvis on the mat, lower back on the mat. We have the foot flexed to protect the knee joint. And then if it feels appropriate, foot flat to the wall. And as much as you want to, come down the wall, but you want to keep your heel in line with the knee. You don't want to go below that space, otherwise it becomes a little bit easier. And then we'll do whatever we want with our arms, and again we can cross them and pop them a little bit in towards that inner thigh area. We're just starting to feel these sensations, glutes, hamstrings, hips, being fully mindful, being in the moment. I'm going to be quiet until we exit this posture in order for you to be fully mindful. And if you find yourself drifting away from the yoga mat, bring yourself back to the posture, to the mat, to the mindfulness. The final minute. You're going to think about exiting the posture, so have your hand on the foot, just gently take it off the knee, and again both legs go up the wall. And stay here for a short while. And then we're going to be working with the spine a little bit. So bringing your feet flat to the wall. We're going to roll over to the right. And then slowly come up. Coming into all fours, we're going to slide those knees back towards the wall and then lay the belly down. And we're going to come into this posture. Now that might not be suitable for you, so you don't have to do that. You can just lay down and come into this posture. So it's entirely which one you want. And even if you want a little bit more restorative, you can come into this posture. So taking which posture that you want, either legs up the wall, or your sphinx, or even laying down. It's 4 minutes. So we are aware that we're in a back bend here. And if you wanted to make it a little bit more intense, you can draw the cushion that you have in and maybe have even more cushions and take your chest a little bit higher. You've got a deeper back bend going on here. So again, being mindful. Now, some of you may find that this is not deep enough for you, so you will be able to go a little bit deeper if you want to. So if you wanted to go a little bit deeper, we have another 2.5 minutes in this posture, so either stay where you are, or bring your arms further forward and then rise up. So now it's quite a strong posture. It's quite a deep back bend. And we're still being very mindful. Mindfulness is what brings us back in touch with what's happening right now in this present moment. Being aware of our body. The feelings that we're having right now. And if you can be mindful in your yin practice, this will enable you to be mindful in your daily life. And we can be mindful at any time. Having a shower, we can be aware of the water on our skin. We can be mindful when we're eating. Are we focused on eating, or are we just eating for eating's sake? We can be mindful when we're walking, being aware of what's around us instead of just rushing to our destination. And when we're mindful, we'll bring more peace and tranquility into our lives. A couple more breaths. With mindfulness comes awareness. And with awareness comes enlightenment. We'll lay our bellies down. Have the hands underneath the forehead. And settle here. So final posture, we'll be working with the IT band area. We're going to roll over to the side, draw the knees up, and then we're going to find our way onto our backs. We're going to scoot ourselves away from the wall now. And each posture will be 3 minutes. So we'll take the arms up over our shoulders, grab hold of the elbows, and we'll walk to the left. And then we'll walk the legs in the same direction we've taken the shoulders. You want to keep those buttocks on the mat. We're getting a nice lateral stretch now through the intercostals, down the IT band. And here we stay in stillness. If you want to make it a little tiny bit more intense, you can try crossing the ankles, just the ankles, and see if that makes it a little bit more intense. We still want to keep those buttocks down on the mat, and you can always walk into this shape a little bit more. It's called a banasana. It's a shape like a banana, so we're just really working with the lateral sides of the body now. If you get any tingling in your shoulders, it may mean that you'll have to bring your arms down a little bit. And again, be mindful, we don't want to have any pain or tingling in those shoulders. So you can always bring one arm down if you want to, or both arms down, keeping the shape. You have 1 more minute in this posture. Slowly coming out of the posture. If you've crossed your ankles, uncross them. We take the arms back to the center line nice and slowly. Hands down by the side of the body. And then we take the legs back to that center line again. Bring your feet flat to the mat. Draw the knees into the chest and have a little roll around on that lower back. We simply take the opposite direction. So nice long legs. Arms up and over, grab hold of the elbows. We walk to the right with the shoulders, and then we walk to the right with the legs. 3 minutes. And again, we need to be aware of any tingling happening in the shoulders. You may be compressing a nerve, so the arms will need to come down. And if you want to make it more intense, keeping the buttocks on the mat, You can always cross one ankle over the other, depending on which one makes it more intense for you. And then we settle into stillness. This is your final posture now, before we enter into Shavasana. You're entering your final minute. If you've drifted, come back to the yoga mat, mindful, being in the posture, being in the moment. You're shortly going to have completed our 3 minutes, so if you've crossed your ankles, uncross them. Walk the shoulders back to the center line. Bring the arms down by the side of the body and walk the legs back to the center line. Bring your feet flat to the mat and draw your knees into your chest. Have your final little rock and a roll. And then feet flat onto the mat. Do please try and do Shavasana. It is important. So stretch your legs long. Turn the palms out to the side. Possibly cover yourselves with a blanket if you're going to stay here for a while. Now, bring your attention to the whole of the body. And connection with the whole of the body on the earth. By practicing Yin, we can be mindful, and we can take this mindfulness into our daily life, forever being in the moment. Past is gone. We've no idea what the future holds. We only have the moment. So enjoy all the beautiful moments of your life. Stay here for as long as you wish. I'm shortly going to be leaving you. But please do stay here for as long as you wish. Just relaxing and enjoying the moment.